Today we're gonna learn how to use wet into wet to paint this landscape painting. This channel is all about learning how to draw and paint with relaxation. If this is the first time to our channel, please subscribe and turn on notification. First, I'm going to start with a very light composition. Thinking about how big the tree, the top, the bottom, I'm going to have it here. So I'm going to use a very light color. So the bottom over here, I'm going to just put a little line over here, right? And just run from here to here. And then you see there is a little distance and have a little tree going to be in here. Okay, here you go. Now, this actually, you can make it very similar on the other side. And there's also the tree over here. Simple thing. And the next thing we're going to do, we're going to prepare the paper with masking fluid. This is the masking fluid I'm using. If you need to see all the material that I'm using for this lesson, you can look at the video descriptions. You can see the links there. Put enough masking fluid. That's probably good enough. We're going to use the toothbrush. Add the masking fluid. Create the dusts. And then I just use my thumb. And let it dry before I come back to start the painting. Alright, the masking fluid is already dry. So first I'm going to use the water to wet the entire paper. Use this flat brush. Is very good idea in this kind of process because this brush is very soft. It's not going to scrap off all the masking fluid on the paper now. And my paper is about like 5 to 7 degrees up, so that the excess paint, excess water can going all the way to the bottom instead of staying in the middle of the paper to become accumulate in the middle of the page. Okay, now I'm gonna just softly coming from the top to the bottom and let the water keep coming down and wet the paper. Okay. That's very good. And now I'm going to start mixing some color. I'm going to start the painting. And we already have the yellow color. I'm going to have a little red color over here because it looks like a light brown color. And I'm going to get a little bit more yellow color into this mixture. And this is a little bit closer to the color we want. If you think it's a little bit too bright, you can take a little bit blue color in it, so you make it a little bit more brown. It's that simple. So I'm going to have even a little bit more blue, especially from the top. Now I'm going to have a little bit more water, make it a little bit lighter. Says water actually create a little lighter color. Okay, I'm going to have a little bit like this. Now I'm going to have a little bit blue. And those color is not really totally mixed well together. And when it's drying, it's going to start, the color actually is going to start moving. So now I'm going to start from here and get it a little bit closer in here. And that's, I'm going to leave a little white. And on this side, a little bit, I'm going to just use the little bit, touch it on the edge. I'm going to go in on this side. Here you go, like this. Because the wet, you can have the color very nicely and it's going to be very soft. Okay, now coming over here and then have this color. Now over here is the sun, so I'm going to keep it a little light shape over there. And I'm going to keep coming down, add a little bit more red into here, get a little bit more yellow. You can always mix the same color because the formula is very simple, straightforward. Okay, now I'm going to coming down all the way to the bottom of this paper. Okay, at the bottom over here on the land is a little bit darker and also have a little bit more blue. So I'm going to take a little bit more blue color like that. Here you go. That's good. A little bit more. It looks like a little bit purple, so I'm going to take the red color and have a little bit Windsor blue red shade. Here you go. Have the color change at the bottom over here. That's good. I can actually have the color even a little bit darker by having less water. Like that. That's good. I'm going to add some color back over here. That's good. Like that. And I'm going to leave up the excess wet at the bottom, which is accumulate here. That's good. And when it's almost dry, we're going to start working into the background. Now the paper is getting much drier. It's just not completely dried yet. I'm going to use my calligraphy brush. I'm going to set a little blue-gray color. So I'm going to take this color. That would be good. Just looking for your mixing area to see what color actually you can use. I'm not using too much water, so it probably the water it won't make too much effect. So I'm going to start over here in the background here. I'm going to pushing it down one round like this and coming all the way to the other side like that. Now this is the background, and I have a little bit soft effect now. And now I'm going to continue having a little bit purple color at the bottom of those trees, and not using too much water. And I'm going to put that in here and all the way from the left to the right. That's good. Like that. And then coming on this side a little bit closer, get a little bit purple, and here you go. I'm gonna coming all the way like this. So sometimes you have to do that when it is wet. Sometimes you do that after you dry. I'm gonna have this same purple color coming over here for the bottom of those trees right here. Okay, like that, coming all the way over here. That's good. Like that. And on the other side, over here, I'm gonna have a little bit more like a purple and gray color. And I'm gonna have a little bit, very thin line. That's good. A little bit like that, coming a little bit thin line. And now I'm gonna paint the trees in the background over here. I'm gonna mix a little gray color. Again, you don't want to use too much wet into those color because the paper is still wet. Whatever you put in the paper is going to absorb into the wet. I'm going to use this color. I'm going to have a little bit yellow, a little blue. That's good. And get a little red so it's not going to be too bright. All right. I'm going to take a look how it look. I'm going to put it here. Okay, that's good. It's getting dry already. Now I'm going to open up my brush like that. Open it up a little bit more. I like the longer hair in this case. Okay, now I'm going to have a very dry brush like that. Here you go. Just use the dry brush open it up like this. Okay, keep going. And the back over here. There you go. Okay. So sometimes you want the brush here come back together. Sometimes you want to stay open. This brush is very good with doing what you intend to do. And then take a look at on this side. I'm going to take the same color over here, and I'm going to put a little bit more over here. That's for this tree. For the people watching this video and never use these brushes, you can come to our website to order them. We still have some in stock. Okay, now I'm gonna add a little bit darker. Get a little yellow, get a little red. Okay, I'm gonna open it up. Again, I'm gonna have a little bit darker. This tree is a little bit closer to us. Like that, that's good. Alright, and I'm going to come into the paint there, catch the shadow. I'm gonna mix the little blue purple color. Looks like it mostly is the Windsor blue red shade or the French ultramarine, and like that. That's good. I'm gonna start having this color coming on this side. There you go. A little bit more brighter. Have a little red into it. That's good. Okay, take a look at the direction. And the sun in this direction. So, okay, like this. To drag very easily. And coming all the way over here, like this. Here you go. The line, the sun on this side, like this. That's good. Like that. And now I'm going to use a little bit more water. And have a little bit more water. Have a little bit of this blue color. Here you go. How much water that you need to use, or you know how you're going to control the amount of water, is very important technique for watercolor painting. I'm going to, on this side, I'm going to have open it up and have a little bit softer. Just use the whole brush, the large. I'm going to keep some areas a little bit more of the texture on the edge over here. I'm going to have a little bit softer. And here you go, coming like this, and keep it a little opening over here. That's good. Now for the catch the shadow, I'm going to move the color a bit softer over there. And the same thing over here is we need to also have some color a little bit darker and more almost like brown, gray brown color, right? So I'm gonna have that color over here. Okay, I'm gonna have that a little bit over here. Now it's getting almost all dry. So just drag it over at the bottom of the tree over here, and some darker color we can apply that a little bit later. I'm going to get a little bit blue color, so make this a little bit more gray, and again let go most of wet and open the brush like that. I would like to have a little bit more feeling of drive and a little bit unintentional, but actually that everything we do is very intentional. It just make the look that we're looking for. It's a little bit more relaxing. Okay, and then we're gonna come to wet the paper again to draw the main trees. Okay, now I'm gonna take this same color and very dry. I'm gonna have it a little bit line for the, but it's not too dark. It's just a little bit, very simple like that. And maybe let go some, and we're gonna make it a little bit more easier. Just use sometimes a couple here and draw the little line. That's good. Sometimes you want to have a little bit more dry feeling. Okay, that's good. That's good for the background. And over here, there's a little bit closer to us, and that's good. I'm gonna just open it up, and just use a couple here at the corner, like that. That's good. Although dry, a few here over here. That's good. And on the right at the bottom, and I think the colors are pretty good. I'm just add a little bit more shape for the purple at the bottom. Okay, now we're gonna start painting the soft shapes of the trees from the top. Mix a little clean orange color. So I'm gonna let go a little color on the mixing area. That's good. That's good. Now I'm gonna take the yellow and a little red. Okay, that's pretty good. A little bit more red. I'm gonna take a look at the top over here. And it's supposed to be right in this area. Okay, have a little bit. And then coming on this side, I'm going to get a little bit more orange color. Now I'm going to use a little very soft orange and just use the side of this calligraphy brush. I'm going to just make it look like a very dry orange color. Okay, now I'm going to come to use just the water. I'm going to soften this a little bit. And a little bit over here, soften. And the top over here, make it a little bit softer. That's good, like that. And also have a little orange color over here and make it a little softer, but you don't have to make it all connected. So this is the farthest layers of this bright colors and represent the heat and the effect from the sun onto the top of the tree. Okay, now I'm gonna use a little gray color, but also gonna open this up, open the brush up. But I'm gonna, the brush is kind of wet, but I don't want it to look like a whole big area. Look at the trees, they're all opening. Right, I'm gonna take this, it would be the right color, like a gray color. That's good. And I'm gonna let go most of the wet in the middle of the brush and keep the tip of the brush opening. Now I'm going to take a look at, don't look at the tree trunks, just looking at those shapes, those a little, the branches a little, those are small shape in the tree. I'm going to over here too, like that. So tap on it a little by little. Look, I have those color coming in, make it a little bit more random and easy. Okay, that's good. Like that. I need to take a little bit more color. That's good. Open it up like this. All right, now the bottom over here, I'm gonna see, and you can twist the brush around so you can make it less of like a all parallel strokes, and you're gonna have something a little bit more random looks. Okay, and that's the tree trunk, and coming over here, for example, for this one, all the way coming down over here. So I know that how those small branches it would connect to this tree. Okay, that. Okay, I'm gonna keep going on this side, and a little bit over here, and then come on this side, and just draw a little tree trunk, like all the way over here, coming down here. Even though this is not exactly the end result, but I just try to make it very visual to us how those small part of the tree connect to the center of this. Okay, take a little bit more and then open it up. This brush is very good to have enough spring to bring the hair all come back to shapes, but sometimes for some technique, for some purposes, that we want to have it open. Okay, now that's good for this tree. And take a look at some other tree coming from here all the way like this, coming down over here, and I'm gonna draw another one, and here you go, like that, and another one over here. So lift a little bit and have another shape, maybe come a little closer to that tree. And there's a one over here too, all the way come down here. Again, just roughly put something over there. Now I'm gonna come into continue render some dry brush effect. I'm gonna take a look. Be patient. This is very important step. Take a little bit this gray color. That's good. A little bit more drive. Okay, now the top over there, I'm gonna come back to get more orange color. Get a little bit more yellow. Some red color. I'm gonna open it up. Let's take a look and how those orange color on the top over here. Okay, you can draw a little dried brush for those the shape of the tree. Now I come back here. They have a little bit more orange, bright orange color. So instead, I'm gonna just mix it right here. Okay, I'm gonna put there's a little beautiful color right there. Just use the side of the brush and also have that extended. Just use the clean water. Extend the color. There you go, like this. Open it up. That's good. Okay, now I'm gonna continue having this a little bit more feeling of like a brown, but I'm gonna open the brush here. Try not to have all the color glued together. On the top over here, I'm gonna have a little bit brown, light brown color as well. I think this is pretty good. Now I'm gonna ready to draw a little bit darker color into this main object. So I'm gonna mix a little darker color, get the Windsor blue green shade with the red color, and I'm gonna mix a very dark color. Here you go. Now I'm gonna start from the bottom over here. just use the brush, lay it down a little bit, get a little bit more water, like this. Like that. Okay, now I'm gonna take this color and then I'm gonna start draw some trees. I'm gonna get a little red. That's good. Right. I'm gonna have this tree first. I'm gonna start from the bottom and coming up like this. And maybe a little lighter. Use a little bit water like that. Coming up. Okay, get a little bit thinner. And the color is gonna change. So I'm gonna add a little bit yellow color and the red color. Make it a little bit more feeling of the brown color. It's not too dark. Okay, I'm gonna coming over here like that, coming all the way in the middle over here, and have another opening over here like that. Okay, that's good. Now I'm gonna have a little thin line. This tree is coming all the way here you go. That's good. The tree get thicker and thicker coming down. Okay, now I'm going to draw all other tree. Okay, you go. You can deduct some of them. You don't have to have all of them. Okay, a little bit over here. All the way come down. I'm gonna have a little bit over here like this. That's good. And there's a little bit opening. I'm gonna get a little bit darker color for the bottom area. Okay, that's good. Now on the top, now I'm gonna use a little bit brown color. So get the yellow, get the red, get a little bit blue color. Here you go. Okay, open it up like this. Good. Like that. Okay. Get a little bit thin line. Okay, a little bit more. Especially the top over here, have a little bit more like a feeling of the brown. Just drag it a little bit. Okay. Just use the water to soften that a little bit. Okay, on this side is very similar. I'm gonna get a little bit orange color. Alright, now I'm gonna draw a very thin line, some very thin line for the small branches. Here you go. Like that. This brush can produce some very small line. Here you go, like that. And here you go, get a little bit vertical line. Here you go. A little bit more like an orangeness. you go, coming over. Get a little bit gray color and a little bit. See, now you can see all the connections between those small branches. And also here, I'm going to make it a little bit darker. So you don't want to make it too average. Sometimes you have a little bit group. Make it feel a little bit darker. Now coming to on this side, I'm also going to draw a little thin line for those branches. Like that. That's good. I'm going to also put another tree and coming in between, and also a little smaller tree like that. So make it like not really that same distance everywhere. Here you go. Okay, now the entire painting has been dried. Now I'm going to start lifting all the snow created by the masking fruit. Now the painting is completely finished.